an important thing, right? Like, these things are going to happen. I know Bardic was very disappointed, as was I, when we really expected this month long to come out in March was the original plan. And we got into that testing December and February, and it was like, it's not happening. And you lick your wounds, you take your blows, and then you move on. And I think the difference between somebody who does great and somebody who just does okay in whatever they're trying to succeed are the people that can take those blows and get back up. You see the news, you're allowed to sit there, have 5 minutes where you're really sad about it. And then when you're done, say, okay, how am I responding to this? If you just sort of throw in the towel, like a lot of people did, and I'll give a perfect example. When this content creator program came out, there were a ton of people that were streaming so hard for like 2 straight weeks. They were going 12 hours a day. They weren't really talking Ashes, but they were just live in the category. And I think that they thought, I'm going to be a content creator. I don't see any of those people now. And I think that that's because they just gave up. They said, okay, well, I didn't get it, so now I need to go somewhere and lick my wounds. Versus those that kind of put in the work constantly and make it for the long term.
Yeah, and it's like any other business, content creation, right? It's content creation is work, guys. This is not just like some people hit it lucky. Yes, some people do just hit it lucky, especially like earlier on. They just kind of fell into it. They were doing it for fun. And then suddenly they're just like, oh shit, I'm making a bunch of money doing this. Some people do that. That's very few people. That's one in millions. Versus people who have done it and have gotten big off of it. They're working hard. They're making it work. And it's like anything in life. You don't just get good at something. You practice, you work hard at it, and you keep trying to improve. And it's kind of like, I don't know, I see a lot of streamers that don't even talk about how to get better. And it's like, have you ever been in a professional environment before? Like when I was a craft cocktail bartender, when I was doing sales and marketing, as some of you know, I've never been to a gaming convention. It's never been my job before. I've been to every kind of liquor convention out there. Been to wine conventions. I've been to craft cocktail conventions. I have done all of that. And that's how I got good at what I did, was taking it seriously, analyzing the science behind it, and just trying different things until you figure it out. And I think that's very much what Ashes of Creation is doing as a new development studio. I think that's kind of, they have made mistakes. No one will deny that. There have been mistakes made by Intrepid. That's completely fine as long as they learn from them and keep getting better.
Yeah.
Well, and I think an important note to that, and I'm glad you said it because that's where mine was going, just kind of wrapping this back around to Ashes and Intrepid.
I always try to bring it back in.
Yeah. But that's one of the things that, and so there's kind of a two-part thing here. As a community, we need to allow those mistakes to happen. We need to be, don't get me wrong. If it's a big mistake, we need to be vocal. We need to let them know. We need to be like, yo, this wasn't ideal, APOC. But, but as a community, allow that to happen. And that's a space within the internet. Like the internet just doesn't do that. So I understand wanting to make sure everything is perfect and ready to go. But as a community, we need to allow that. We need to allow them space to make mistakes because they are a new company. Steven has not done this before. This is all brand new. Going from a gamer to a developer, it might seem like, a linear path, but it's not. It's not even on the same. It's not even in the same book, let alone the same page. And one of the things that I have appreciated from very early on, in the Alpha Zero testing, like the very, very early Alpha Zero testing, all the way through till now, is at no point, I'm thinking about it here real quick, but I'm fairly certain, at no point have I gotten the impression that there's really anything trying to be hidden. They have been pretty straightforward with what's going on. Some of the communication could have been better, and we talked about that last week a little bit. But I don't necessarily feel like they're trying to hide behind anything. They're open about their mistakes. They want the feedback on it, and that is how you grow. I mean, the line that I used ad nauseum in being a GM or a raid lead to anybody that I was in charge of or anything like that is, let me know if I'm doing something wrong, because if I don't know I'm doing it wrong, I can't fix it.
And that brings up a great point, and this is something we had this discussion at Axiom. That's what I brought up. It is what is the proper response to failure? And the one thing I said is there's a lot of different ways to deal with problems, right? It depends on the group, it depends on the person, but there are definitely wrong ways to handle it. One, explosive outbursts. There, like that is not like that is never gonna be an acceptable way to handle disappointment or failure. However, even worse than that, in my opinion, is ignoring it. That's when things fester. That's when things become toxic and just slowly spread until it becomes a boiling point. And I think ignoring a problem, not even talking about how, yes, I was disappointed about this, but here's the rationale I'm coming from, and I can move on from this, I think is more important than just saying, we'll just sweep that under the rug. And that's where we're getting to the white knight aspect.